We had a client that we worked with, and she was really struggling with profitability. She kept raising tuition. She actually did 3 tuition increases within a 15-month cycle, and she still could not catch up. So I helped her work with our 6 money leaks in schools, and she only used 3 of the 6 money leaks and cut her expenses by 50%. 50. She did not fire anyone. She did not slash any of her programs, and she did not work more hours. Again, the 6 money leaks are not hacks or spreadsheets. These are patterns. They are small decisions that feel so normal that your school does, but they quietly drain your school's profit. So if you've ever wondered why you're working so hard, but still not seeing the return, this is your first step to clarity. Click the link in the show notes and find out what it's actually costing you. Welcome to the Schools of Excellence podcast, where we have conversations about education, leadership, and building a school of excellence. The goal on this show is to bring you clarity, up-level your mindset, and give you practical strategies and inspiration so you can show up with confidence and trust your decision-making. I'm Chani Wolshansky. I'm a mom of 4 under 10, a former New Yorker, and been in the early childhood field my entire life. And I'm so grateful that you've joined me for this conversation. Welcome back to another episode of the Schools of Excellence podcast. Today, we're continuing our kind of special series that we have going on now, sharing very specific case studies and conversations that we are having with school leaders who are members of our Directors Inner Circle and our Owners HQ program. And so today I have another special conversation with one of our Director Inner Circle members, Erin Owens. Inside of today's conversation, Erin shares with us a little bit about what was going on in her life before joining the program. She was really struggling to retain staff, always getting stressed out, and was considering a change of career as an option to just get away from the unrelenting stress that was pulling her down. Since joining the Directors Inner Circle, she's been in the program for almost a year and a half at the time of this recording. She's made connections in the community that are priceless. She's more intentional with her planning, making space for margin and self-care, and prioritizing personal things outside of her center. The amazing thing is that for the first time in years, her staff has been able to get focused on their singular roles instead of having to always be filling in for other vacancies. One other amazing point that I want you to think about as you're listening to today's conversation is Erin has become more confident than ever in her leadership, knowing where she still needs to grow and has a plan to reach all of her goals and building her legacy. I hope you enjoy today's conversation with Erin Owens.
All right, let's get started. Erin, thank you so much for being here today. I'm excited to have you on. I want you to tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me your name, the name of your center, where you're located, and what your role is.
Okay. My name is Erin Owens. I am the director at Little Lambs Daycare Ministry in Rochester, Indiana. And I've been here for 9 years. And I've been in early childhood education for 19 years. So,
wow. Amazing. Thank you. And how long have you been a part of the Directors Inner Circle?
I'm pretty sure it's been such a long year. I believe it's been about a year now.
Yeah, just over a year. I think you started in April 2021. So just over a year.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what was going on in your center for you and your staff. What were some big challenges that you were facing before you started Directors Inner Circle?
I think our biggest challenge at the time was staffing. And in terms of several different ways. One being that we couldn't find staff even then. And we were struggling to keep the staff that we had. And then just because of money, but then also for the simple fact of I was a different person back then. So I've learned a lot about myself as a leader, and my staff has tremendously grown in the last year also because of the trickle down, the
ripple effect.
Yes, ripple effect. That's the word. Yes.
That's amazing. So would you say that the challenge that you were having with staffing, how is that affecting you personally in your personal life?
Oh, goodness. So I was always stressed out. I cried just about every night to sleep.
Ooh.
It was, my husband was seeing a big change in me and a big difference, and was actually encouraging me to look at other things, because I just knew it probably had something. I always take everything inner as a leader, and I always did. I am working on that a lot in myself, because it's not all on me. So, but that is one thing that I was really taking to heart, is that, okay, this has got to be because of me. That we can't keep the staff that we already have. But then reevaluating everything, I looked back and I saw that also the staff that we had for 3+ years. And some of them were not even wanting to be in this field for super long periods of time. So for 3 years for a staff member, there was a huge eye opener at conference this last year. And they said, 3 to 5 years is or 1 to 3 years is your average nowadays for an employee to be in a job. And yeah, that's what I was looking at, 1 to 3 years.
Yeah.
So,
tell me about, did you look at any resources before you found the Schools of Excellence? Did you have any other programs or resources that you were purchasing beforehand?
So yes. So we, not necessarily purchasing as much as we were going to like the NAYC conference, the IAYC conference, because I'm from Indiana. So we did their state conference and stuff. And I was going to that every single year. We went to Nashville for the NAYC conference. And it just seemed, there was so much information. And you always get, like at a conference, you always get all this information, and then you want to go back and you're so excited, but then everybody else back in the building is like, okay, like, don't throw it all at us right now. Like, let's take this step at a time, but you don't know what you want to work first, and you get tools and things like that. But what I found with Honey, I just love her. So what I have found through the Schools of Excellence is that it's not always all about the tools. It's not oftentimes about the tools. It's about the tools that I already have, the skills that I already have, the knowledge that I already have. And it's about using that to better ourselves. Sorry, I'm getting a little tear-jerked because this has been a journey for myself as the leader of this place for the last little over a year. And I have come so far in this last year, just from realizing that I already had the tools and being able to utilize them myself. So one of the biggest key tools that I already had was my mindset. And changing my mindset to better represent what I was thinking and what I was doing. That was the biggest piece that I've really been working on. And then the other one is self-care. I've already got all of the tools. I just need to utilize them. So, and how to utilize them is what I've learned through the Schools of Excellence.
Amazing. Love it. Tell me how this mindset shift has really transformed your staff. How has that rippled down into your staff?
Yes. So we started out beginning of last year. We had several employees. Most of them, we'll just say it like it is. They were miserable.
Yep.
I was miserable. And yeah, so I started out, first of all, by just kind of taking the mindset of the ripple effect. So I have got to be happy. I have got to be fulfilled. I have got to be filled. And then I can do that for my staff. And then I can find the tools or utilize the tools, the resources, all of these things to help with my staff. So it started with me. And I started leaning more into my self-care, changing my mindset on things. So instead of immediately jumping to, what are we going to do in this situation? It went to, okay, this is what we're doing today. And it's going to be okay because we're all on this boat together, and we're going to take this step, and then we're going to take this step, and then we're going to take this step. And so instead of going into panic mode or essentially falling out of the boat, I said, okay, Lord, calm the seas. we're gonna get through this day. It's gonna be okay. And just took it step by step, a day at a time, or a moment at a time. And we started getting through the days. And the less stressed I was, the happier I was, the more my staff started feeling confident in what they were doing. And essentially the ripple effect started happening. And then their baskets were full. And then they were coming to work happier. Those that weren't and didn't want to be there exited. And we, at one point, it was a few months after I started, we went down to basically me and like 2 other staff members. And that was a stretch. It was definitely a stretch, but it was also essentially cleaning the house so that we could start positive and be more positive going forward, because the mindset that I was in, these 2 staff that stayed with me, they were starting to turn their mindsets also. We started going in a much more positive direction with everything we were doing.
That's incredible. That's amazing. Wow. Tell me what your experience is in the program itself. So maybe aspects like the training and the community.
So the community, I'll start with that. Mm-hmm. Actually, I'm going to end with that because that's the big
okay.
So to start, I've loved the Facebook group because that's part of the community too, but it has helped me to lean into staying on top of things more. So my calendar, things like that. It's essentially my reminder of we've got this going on. This is what's happening next. This is what's happening next. And then the community aspect of it, man, oh man. So you always feel so alone as a leader sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I cannot express the amount of community and the amount of relief and the amount of joy I have experienced in the last year being a part of the Schools of Excellence with people all across everywhere, the world. Mm-hmm. I have connected with people in other states that have essentially like stirred movement in new directions here, and things like that. So I've gained friendships through this. I've gained support, director support. I have gained essentially some sisters from across these have been mainly from the United States, but it's just been amazing. And then if you are even questioning going to conference, I cannot tell you enough, go. Because I was at another major turning point at that point, and my mindset was just after conference. And I came back. It was unlike, I don't even like referring to it as a conference because it was more of a community solution, like that's fix. It fixed so many situations that were happening. I love the mindset of the people within Schools of Excellence because we're solution based. Mm-hmm. And so we're able to vent and understand each other where we're at, but then we go to the next step. It doesn't just stay stagnant and stay in the when. It's in the, okay, now what? Now we're going to find a solution for these situations. We're going to find a solution for what we're facing. We're going to find a new project and go on with that. So it's been great, the community.
Love it. Is there anything in particular that had surprised you when you joined the program versus what your expectations were before joining?
Actually, yes, literally everything. So I was expecting more of what I've found in like a lot of the other places. So I always see like toolboxes, and this is going to be your tool, and this is what you use, and things like that. But I found so much more out of it I have gotten tools, amazing tools that other people have been using, that have put forward, or that Honey Yourself has created, or you, Michelina, have created and gone forward. But I guess the biggest thing is that I already had a lot of the tools, and it's just learning how to use those as a leader and this is even spilled out into my personal life. So it's as a mom and as a wife, things have changed.
Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, I was working all the time. And that was one of my husband's biggest complaints is like, Erin, you don't have a shut off. So one of the very first things I put into place when I started Schools of Excellence, after hearing about boundaries and setting those boundaries and putting the lock on the door of the office and putting your sign up that says, I'm busy today. Your emergency is not my emergency. All of these things. I've been able to put those in place. I've been able to get my work done here. And then I've been able to go home and be Erin and be wife and be mother, because I put those boundaries in, and I don't take calls after 6 o'clock anymore. And I go to bed early, and I don't stress about the next day, because I know that it's that mindset. I know that mindset is there, and it'll be okay. We'll take it one step at a time and we will get through it. So I've been able to shut down, and my husband has been able to see me, and we've been able to go on dates and not had phone calls in the middle of it, and go grocery shopping with no phone calls. And it's been really, really nice. So
that's incredible. Wow. I love that. Okay. Tell me about what your biggest win. What is the biggest thing? I mean, I know that you said that your staffing and your mindset, but maybe something that's actually happened in your center. What is something that is actually like a big win, something that's really never gone that way before, if you can think of anything?
Yeah, actually. So we are a Christian ministry. And the biggest win I've had since I've been here is we more than doubled in our school age group this year due to all of everything that we've been putting in place. We had at one point almost 40 school kids. My usual max around here, the max I've ever had myself, and this was with all the groups together, was 50 kids. And so for that big of a group of school agers, it was amazing. And we had 16 school agers on one day in the ministry setting. We had just gotten done with Vacation Bible School, and we were going through our lessons and our staffing, and everybody was on such a great positive spin on everything. And we ended up having 16 school kids accept Christ into their hearts. And that for a ministry in one day is huge. So that is the biggest thing that has come out of this program, is that we were able to build that for these students. We were able to build that for these parents. We were able to build that for these staff. And I was able to build it for myself. And then, of course, number one, Jesus. So
yes. Amazing. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. So tell me, what goals do you have for your center?
Oh, I'm so excited about these. So,
okay.
So a couple of them are, we're going to continue to build our school age program. We're going to, it's prior to Schools of Excellence, we've had bring in the school kids. They do homework. They play in the centers. We do like one or two little activities or whatever with them. There's not a lot of time in the afternoon. We're a lot more intentional now. And so I'm looking forward to continuing to build that with our school agers. And then breaks and that kind of stuff. We've already started planning like our fall break and our spring break and what those look like and stuff. So we plan on building that. The other thing is we actually got a curriculum, a steady curriculum that we are looking forward to utilizing in our pre-K program. And for the first time ever since I've been here in 9 years, our pre-K teacher is going to be just our pre-K teacher and not our fill-in for our toddler room or our fill-in for our infant room or whatever else. So I am super, super excited about where we're headed and what we're doing. And I can say right now, another huge goal of mine is I know that I have come so far already in this program, but I have only like gotten to the tip of the iceberg, to be honest. There is so much more to unpack in this program. And I am super excited to see where that leads me and where that leads Little Lambs and my staff and my families and our community, essentially. So,
Wow, amazing. I love that. Tell me what you envision, like what you dream of in the next 2 to 5 years for your center and how Schools of Excellence can maybe help you get there.
oh, goodness. Wow. I dream big. So So I guess our biggest goal is I want to exceed the 50. I want to touch the lives of our community in more ways than just being an academic program. I also want to hit their hearts ministry-wise. Not just our community, but essentially our state and our world need community, need mental health help and stuff right now. And so I want to continue to grow that basis here. That's one of our things that we're working on is the mental health. So the mindset and all of that here at Little Lambs. So in the next 3 to 5 years, I want a steady group that is sticking around. One of the other pieces that I did forget to mention that I've really utilized is the gratitude piece and how I was going about that. So one of the things I learned through Honey is that gratitude isn't just, here's a $5 gift card, or here's a cheap manicure set that I bought at the Dollar Tree. Gratitude and filling their baskets is about finding what they're doing well and pointing that out and speaking in their language to point that out. And by language, I mean 5 love languages in my center. And so we are really focusing on each other and that stuff and making bonds that are forever growing. And so I'm excited for the team that we have now to continue to build that and continue to build our legacy of Little Lambs.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you. I love that. If a friend or colleague came to you and they were not sure about joining the Schools of Excellence or the Directors in a Circle program, what would you tell them?
Girl, boy, are you crazy? No. No, the first one. No. So I basically would lay out where I've been, where I'm going, and I would 100% tell them that, because I know one of the very first things that hung me up was the money. Mm-hmm. And I'm very frugal with my money, but I cannot tell you the immense payoff that I have had in the last year. It goes way deeper than money. Money could never buy what I have gotten in the last year of being in the Schools of Excellence. So I would 100% say, put it all in. Put all your eggs in your basket because it's worth the journey.
Amazing. Thank you. Okay. Last question is I want to talk about the Summit of Excellence. So I would love for you to highlight some of your favorite pieces of the Summit of Excellence and what that had done for you.
Okay. Summit. Oh,
yes.
Yes. So the Summit of Excellence was groundbreaking for me. Earth-shaking, honestly. So I was at another crossroads with just trying to figure some certain things out. One of the big things that I found is that our visions were not what our visions should be and where we were going mindset-wise, goal set-wise, all of these things. And so that was the very first thing that I did is we worked on our visions and our mission statement and all of that. It just fit us better. And then that was one of the things I took from the Summit of Excellence. But I think overall, the biggest thing that I took, and it, I think, really hit home with what's called campfires. That was such an amazing moment as far as my career goes and as far as my leadership goes, I met with some amazing women in that group. And the crazy thing is we were all coming from different backgrounds, but all still so similar. And just the matchup of that, like, you guys spend so much time getting ready for that. Honey spends so much time putting us into groups that are perfect for what we need. And I cannot thank you guys enough for that, because that's what I took from Summit of Excellence, is that, one, that bond. Two, I've been able to reach out and connect with some of these ladies to be able to continue building on what I've already started. And then I also took away the friendships outside of here. I've connected with a ton of them on Facebook. One of them I'm actually very close to, and we've talked back and forth several times. And through the Summit of Excellence, I was able to continue to tap into the legacy of Little Lambs and what I want that to look like going forward. Why did it start in the beginning? And what were the goals when it started? And where are we now and continuing forward with that legacy? Because we should all leave a legacy of excellence. Mm-hmm. And that's what I got from the Summit of Excellence.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing with me today. Your story is fantastic, and I'm so grateful to have met you and be a part of this program with me.
I appreciate it, and I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, because, like I said, this is a life journey that I'm on here at Little Lambs and with the Summit of Excellence, or with the Schools of Excellence. So it's been amazing for me as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hope that you enjoyed listening to Erin's story and her journey of growth and development as a leader, as her own personal leadership inside of her home, outside of her house, inside of her center, the way that she really continues to show up as a leader for herself and an advocate inside of her life. And one of the things that I loved from the conversation with Erin is when she first joined, she was a little bit hung up on the investment, because it is a significant investment of time, of money, of resources. And one of the things she talks about is the immense payoff since joining. She shares about how it goes way deeper than something that money could ever buy, from what she's received in value from the membership. So many times we want to do something inside of our lives. We want to take that leap of faith. We want to join the program. We want to buy the course, go to the conference, whatever it is. And we get hung up on, but the money. The thing you have to ask yourself is very, very simple. Is the value that I'm going to get out of this membership, the value and the impact that I can bring to my center, to my quality of life, to my mental well-being, to my peace, to my serenity, to my legacy, to what I want to be doing in this one precious life that I have? Those are the questions you want to be asking yourself. And so if you listen to today's conversation, you resonated with Erin and you're like, I want that, or this was me at one point, or this is me right now, then I encourage you to check out our Directors Inner Circle and our Owners HQ program. The link is in the show notes. You can read more about the program. Click the link to apply. Once you fill out an application, you'll be connected to hop on a call with myself personally, and we could talk about if this is the right time, if you're the right fit, if this is the right season of life for you to take yourself and your school to the next level. Again, thank you so much for listening to our podcast today, and I hope that you join us again next week. If you are loving the Schools of Excellence podcast and have gotten any value out of it for your school, I would love if you can do two things for me. One, subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode. And two, can you please leave us a review? Reviews help other school leaders know that this is the place to learn how to build a school of excellence. And I would be so grateful if you can do that for us. Your help and support makes this show to be able to be listened by the thousands of other school leaders all around the world. Thanks so much for listening, for giving us your time and attention each and every week. And I appreciate that you have joined us. If your accountant has ever told you to cut back on professional development or slash your teacher appreciation budget or your staff development budget just so you could stay afloat, or has told you, hey, you probably can't go invest in that program, please listen. The problem is not that you're spending too much money on your people or yourself or your investment or your support system. It's that your school has invisible money leaks that are draining your profit, leaks that no spreadsheet will ever catch or accountant. So I created the 6 money leaks of schools that show you the 6 core areas that schools lose money every single month without realizing it. If you close even one of them, your profits will start to soar without sacrificing your team. Go get it now and stop blaming the things that are actually building your school.